Now, Floyd Mayweather is talking about fighting in MMA, and this is not a joke. He actually sounds pretty serious about it. He just made an interview, at least one that I've seen, with TMZ where he was pretty serious about coming into MMA. We've seen Floyd talk about fights there and there and fights that he could take, but we know that Floyd never likes to commit to something unless he actually wants to pursue it. If he wants that fight, then is the only time you'll see him commit to a fight or some kind of event. Right? He seemed a little bit more committed than usual when talking about fighting in MMA, talking about Tyron Woodley training him. He said he's texting back and forth with Tyron, potentially starting his MMA training soon. He said things like his wrestling game is a 7 out of 10, his kicking game is a 4 out of 10. Pretty specific to say how weak his kicking game is to his wrestling game. So it tells you a little bit of something, but Floyd is a very smart man. And we've been not tricked, but we've been bought into a lot of what he said before. He knows how to sell himself. He knows how to stay in the news, headlines, relevancy, all that kind of stuff. Even for me, someone that says that Floyd would probably never fight in the UFC, there's no point for him to do so, all this kind of stuff. After seeing the stuff he's been saying and things Tyron Woodley has been talking about on TMZ and other interviews, even I am starting to think, okay, maybe there is an opportunity for him in MMA. But here's the thing. There is no way, I guarantee he does not fight Conor McGregor or anybody on that caliber. Floyd is very smart and he knows not to go on the deep end in the UFC already. He has never had an MMA fight. He's never had any high-level competition in wrestling, in kickboxing, in BJJ, any other martial art besides boxing, right? Fighting a guy like Conor, everybody remembers Conor fighting Floyd Mayweather. People don't know that Conor is much more than a boxer. He is a brown belt in BJJ, which tells you how experienced he is there. He has trained Taekwondo for a while. He's trained every kind of martial art. He's not just a boxer. Yes, you see him knock out people with boxing combinations and punches you see in boxing, but do not be mistaken. Conor McGregor is not a boxer. He knows so many more skills. It's just against the highest competition in the UFC, where other fighters surpass him in those other areas, he doesn't use them as much. Right? But against a guy who is so low on the tier when it comes to all these other skills from different martial arts, he's going to look like a master against a guy like Floyd. I guarantee that fight's not going to happen. Now, Floyd sees an opportunity for a money fight. Him coming into MMA is probably the last big fight he can make, especially considering his age. Right? So the only opponents I can see Floyd taking in the near future at all is either going to be a guy like CM Punk, and it's not a joke, a guy like CM Punk, it would be a very, very big fight. Millions of pay-per-views. Everybody would want to see that, even though how much of a spectacle and how low in competition it will actually look compared to other UFC fights or other high-level MMA fights. But people will love to see that spectacle, that money fight, or someone outside of MMA or outside the UFC, meeting Floyd in the UFC or under one of his banners. Maybe he'll create an MMA promotion just for his fight and then build off that, because he has said in the past that he would like to dabble into MMA promotionally. And Floyd, such a great businessman, this could actually be much more than what you're seeing. It could be much more than what you're seeing on surface. This can be the opportunity for Floyd to come into MMA, get his own promotion going, all that kind of stuff. This could be the gateway to that for Floyd. Floyd is probably thinking far beyond just his fighting. Of course, he's going to have to focus on his fight if he's actually going to do this, much more than he did for his boxing fights, because of all the stuff he's going to have to learn, and then he has to game plan for the opponent, he has to know the opponent's skills, he has to know how his style works, all that kind of stuff. So he's going to be very focused for the fight if it happens. But Floyd, man, Floyd's savvy. But let's not get mistaken. Floyd says it'll take him maybe 6 to 8 months, maybe, to get used to MMA, get used to grappling, get used to kicking defense, wrestling defense, all that kind of stuff. It depends against who. Against CM Punk, maybe that will be enough. But against any high-level MMA fighter, that is laughable, to be honest. It's not because no one can learn that in 6 to 8 months. It's Floyd has come from the world of boxing. He's learned so many things from there. He has so many tendencies. He has so many habits coming from boxing. And coming to MMA, he's going to have to throw out a lot of those old habits, right? Old habits are hard to break. And he's going to create new habits. And that's going to take a long time. That's going to take a really long time. Even a guy as athletic as Floyd, as smart as Floyd, has the fight IQ. And people will say, oh, but Floyd's such a good athlete. He's such a smart fighter. He picks up really quickly. Trust me when I say this. Trust me. Him to learn all these skills, all these variety of skills. Let's say kicking defense. People say he has to learn kicking defense, takedown defense, and a way to get off from the bottom, right? 6 to 8 months is not going to be enough. Trust me, it's not going to be enough. Especially at this level that a lot of people are speculating that Floyd's going to compete against. You can ask any martial artist, anyone that comes into MMA. Yes, Floyd's exceptional. He's special, right? But even special guys in MMA, it takes them far longer to learn all this stuff. And it's going to be much harder for him because he's coming from the world of boxing. He's going to change a lot of things. His boxing style, his boxing defense, the way he moves, everything's going to have to be altered. That long stance that he likes to take in boxing, the way he covers up, the way he moves in there, the way his footwork operates, it's going to be very different to be effective in MMA. All that stuff is going to get intercepted or met by many things that will completely stop him in his tracks that he's never seen before. So don't think that Floyd coming from boxing, he's going to fight that same way. If he comes into MMA, you're going to see a very different Floyd. Floyd understands that as well. He said that in the interview. He's going to have to change a lot of things that he knows. So it tells you how smart he is coming into this. But let's not get mistaken here. Floyd training for that short of time, nothing's impossible. But in my opinion, it's something I would be very worried for Floyd about. I don't normally do these kind of videos, but as an MMA analyst, I just want to give my thoughts on it and how laughable some of these things are, about how true some of them can also be. We could all be duped by this. Like I tweeted earlier, I will not believe this 100% unless I see Floyd with MMA gloves in some octagon with an announcer in the center and his opponent on the other side. That's the only way I'm going to believe this is actually going to happen. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Floyd's going to do this? You believe his talk? He does seem a little bit more serious about it. I will be watching 100%. And if it is against any guy like CM Punk or someone like that, I am all for it. I don't mind. I don't want to see such a lopsided fight in competition and skill against two fighters in MMA, like if he's going to fight Conor McGregor. That's going to be absolutely insane. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to make my prediction video for the UFC event later today, so be on the lookout for that. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you in the next one.